So superhero team-ups are hard. And, time travel in superhero comics isn't exactly uncommon. But in this show, we are focused on it. And if you haven't noticed, I have not reviewed an episode yet this season. There's a reason. Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing the mid-season of Legends of Tomorrow, Season 3. Now, this series started off focused on Rip Hunter, a famous time traveler, and then curved into this whole thing with the Justice Society, and then has a couple of times looped back through to team up with other heroes in the Berlantiverse. In general, it's the Berlantiverse's only real team, and it's probably one of the better concepts they've come up with, although they don't always execute it perfectly. I would love nothing more than to give this show nothing but thumbs up and high reviews. Unfortunately, even while they use some of my favorite moments from previous seasons, this season has been, in my opinion, the weakest. Each individual episode has had good and bad, but I found that if I reviewed it, I'd be complaining more than I would be actually talking about what's good about it. And that's kind of a bummer for me. Yeah, I named the Firestorm effect for this show, and I use that even in reviews of other shows, but realistically, I really like Firestorm. And there was a heart-wrenching moment in this season. And they've even managed to use a speedster villain last year really well. And maybe that's what annoys me the most. So we're going to get into spoilers for a second here. And then we're going to just talk in general. So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. Okay, so the Legends have always been kind of goof-ups. But in their own way. And each one of them had their own little thing that they were good at. One of my favorite episodes last year, and I'm betting one that tested really good, was done entirely from the bad guy's point of view. There was a great moment in it, one that I laughed so hard at. Aren't you worried about the Legends? No, they're idiots. Why would I be worried about them? And I loved that. I loved Eobard Thawne and Malcolm Merlin and all of them just totally dismissing this group of screwballs out of hand. But I want you to think about who they really are. I want you to think about a brilliant historian who wants to be a hero, one who has the power to be invulnerable when he wants to. And I want you to think about a magically empowered superhero who could take on the traits of an animal. And by the way, she was also trained with the Justice Society, so she's basically a spy for all intents and purposes. And then I want you to think about a master thief who's also an arsonist, who, yeah, may not be the smartest, but is tough. Then I want you to think about a brilliant physicist, one who's so smart that he is capable of creating the Firestorm Matrix. This is just a touch, because then we have Ray. He's such a super genius, he created the ability to shrink. By the way, he's also a super good team player, one who tries his best to always follow the rules once they're explained to him. Keep that in mind. And then we have Sarah, a League of Assassins trained assassin, one who's capable of going on missions and thinking on her feet. And remember, these weren't the best of the best, but these were who Rip handpicked to work with him. So when he puts together his new group, what does he say? Oh, these guys are follow-ups. I want you to think about how easy it would be to integrate them into this time agency. You know, like having Stein and Ray working in the science angle, and then when they need their extra added support, both of them are capable of following rules, and both of them have reasons why they'd want to stay in this time period. That's before you take into account the fact that one of these people is a League of Assassins trained agent who's capable of working missions. Why wouldn't you want these people on your side? Because they joke around and goof off? Hell, Jax is so smart that even though he was basically just a car mechanic, he's learned how to take apart and put together the Wave Rider. Think about that. He understands time travel technology. How useful is that? But no, they're all follow-ups, and we're not going to use the fact that they joke around. No, we're going to pretend that we're the villains from last season and call them idiots. It wouldn't be so bad if they did this just to play for laughs every once in a while, or if they showcased how great the team worked together. But they almost go out of their way to find excuses to throw the idiot ball around. And I understand some of these characters can make some dumb mistakes, but it gets to the point where I'm like, you do remember that this person is a capable XYZ, right? A capable human being. And nothing gets me madder than when a time travel show forgets it's a time travel show and tries to pretend there's a ticking clock somewhere. The episode that almost made me give up on this show has Rory destroy part of the circuitry in the secondary time ship so that Stein can't use it. But Stein needs to make it home in order to see the birth of his grandson. I want you to think about this for a second. We're in the 1920s, I think it was. We need to make it home. Oh, wait a minute. We have a friggin' time machine! We could literally spend a year here and still jump home in time for him to see the birth of his child. There is no rush. But we need to then take the Wave Rider, which then strands the rest of the team. Idiot ball, idiot ball, idiot ball. And it's kind of an extension of the Firestorm effect. In this case, the superhero power was time travel that the Wave Rider has. But I mean, it comes up so often. Oh man, how do we make this episode go a little longer? Well, we need to totally throw them against something, so let's give them a reason not to use their capability. And I don't know. I enjoy the series, I really do, but there are moments that make me scratch my head. But then there are moments that make me actually cry, or make me actually pump my fist for joy. Stein's death was not only powerful in the moment, but even in the episode following it. It was just like... And we have this whole mystery, who or what is Moloch? And we have this entire, cosmic level entity threat. And we have Damien Dark and his daughter running around. I mean, there is so much to love about this show. Unfortunately, it gets tied with the not so good. So I have not reviewed an individual episode, because all this complaining I would have done every week. So instead, what I want to say is I am kind of enjoying it. Let me know down in the comment section, though, if you are. I'm only able to give this a copper rating this year so far. I'm hoping for more when it comes back. But it's not coming back with the other shows. Because first, Black Lightning's back. So January 16th, hashtag Black Lightning's back. We'll see what happens. For now, if you could leave me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And of course, if this is your first time here, click that subscribe button to join our little community here. Because what I like to do is I like to figure out hows and whys of storytelling, along with reviewing them. And like I said, I want to like Legends of Tomorrow. I just have this kind of about it. So, join me back here next year when we're going to be reviewing Legends. But first, we're going to do some wrap-ups of the rest of the Brillantiverse shows. Up next, I think, is going to be Arrow. For now, I hope you have a good night, and thank you for walking with me through the heart of the stories we tell.